making sure I had the light there. I second guessed myself. But welcome to the end of August. We got like low 60s. It's amazing the temperature here. But even though the forecast for the weekend looks really warm. I see 90s on Saturday and Sunday, or no, Sunday and Monday. High 80s for Saturday, but sunshine in the entire forecast for the whole Labor Day weekend here in Chicago. So again, we'll begin with our hearts and thoughts go out to the people affected by the hurricane. It looked like it blew through really quickly, and hopefully the impacts were minimal. I know a few people that watch, you live in the affected areas in Georgia there, and so hopefully you got power. And hopefully the worst is over, but we'll head into work here on a Thursday. I'm taking tomorrow off from work. Doesn't mean I won't go live sometime over the weekend, but we'll mix it up. I might head north or go somewhere else. But I got to do a lot of packing and cleaning. Chris, yeah, it's early. I know I'm early this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'll do a slightly different route this morning. I'll go a few blocks west here on Fullerton. We'll check out the beautiful vintage housing here on Fullerton, and then I'll go down Lincoln. We'll go past the sculptural trellis they got there at that new plaza. There's new condos, these nice apartment windows, and hey, we're making progress. We're making progress. I hope if I can keep adding our long lost TikTok community back, and the new people, mostly Canadians, that I'm adding to my user group there in TikTok. Maybe in 2 weeks we'll be above 1,000. So we're over 600 on TikTok, and we're adding to YouTube and Instagram for our backups, which is good. Actually, TikTok's the backup to YouTube. Well, you guys know that. Look, you can rent here. No availability. No availability. It's at capacity, so they could raise the rents. Kathy, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Good morning. I know I'm early, so I don't expect many people to be up and around this early. That's okay. Here, look at the ivy growing up these trees. Wow. We're heading west on Fullerton. Be creative. I like your username. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's a very creative username. Yeah, look at across the way. We can get it in landscape mode. Is it coming through okay, landscape mode? Looking, I gotta watch my kilobits per second. I got Streamlabs allows me to watch my kilobits per second, and there's a lag time usually. And it seems like YouTube with this Streamlabs landscape mode, if it doesn't have enough bandwidth, it'll just cut out the whole stream. It won't try to do it. It'll do a little blurrier to a point I watch on the recordings, and then it'll just cut out and wait till it has enough bandwidth to do the full screen again. And so, you know, there's idiosyncrasies to all this stuff. Good, it's looking good. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate that. Yeah. Kathy and B, how's it going? Yeah, heading to work? Good, that's fine. I know it's early. I'm doing the same thing. And so I appreciate you tuning in for a second. Yeah, we all got other stuff to do. There's more to life than live streaming, TikTok. I can live without TikTok. Look at that nice porch here. Yeah, it's Fullerton. This is such a great strip here between Clark and Lincoln, especially across the way. You know, that church steeple there, I've talked about it before, how it was hit by lightning years ago and they just never rebuilt it. And then we got all these beautiful, brownstones here. Let me get there we go. But this is useful. All right. There, look at the zebra in the window. They always got, yeah, and these buildings always do nice holiday displays starting at Halloween, and through Christmas time and even into St. Patrick's Day. Such a beautiful tree-lined 2 to 3 blocks here on Fullerton in Chicago. Yeah, those across the way, those brick ones are just great. When the light hits here, you know. Yeah, you got the stained glass windows. Answered roof. Hey, good morning, Tara. How's it going? See, we made it. We survived. And Chris, if you're still on, Tara was watching last night, and right at the end of my live, it was interesting. These guys might, it'll be interesting if they tune in and watch later. I'll give you the whole background story here. So I was walking through the Gold Coast, and when I was by the Playboy Mansion, the original Playboy Mansion, my feed was starting to cut out, and people were starting to say, oh, it's getting choppy. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm looking at that, and then there was 2 kids on bikes. They were like teenagers, you know, which is fine. I can't judge kids' age anymore, because to me, like my nephews, who are like 14, 12, and 8, they look like they were like, you know, low teens. I don't want to, because they might be watching. And they were great. They were very polite. They were like, hey, you live stream? And I said, yeah. They were on bikes. They said, oh. I said, I'm on YouTube. I said, I was kicked off of TikTok. And they said, what's your username? And they were going to look me up. I said, oh, you know, brianreallychicago. And they were like, okay. And he found me right away. And he goes, oh. I said, yeah, some people, they tune in, and then you could see yourself on the live, you know, because, and that's what he was doing. And so I was great, and it ended amicably. And I just kept going. I was more concerned about getting my stream back. And so I walked over to Dearborn. We got the stream back. People were like, you were cutting out. I said, okay. See, here we're going this new development here in Lincoln Park, Chicago. This used to be where the Children's Hospital used to be. They got the gas lights, and they got this nice little sculpture over here. And so I continue to walk. We go through the rest of the Gold Coast. We go into Lincoln Park. We go by the South Pond, and I'm just yammering away. And you know, people were having good discussions, and I get all the way up almost by Fullerton. And I'm getting close to ending my live. And then I noticed I turned around, you know, and I got to always remember to keep turning around, you know, because people, and creeping up behind me, and these guys might be watching, which is great. I hope they continue to watch and be friends and followers. It's fine, you know. I just didn't expect it. There was 4 kids on bikes, but the difference was 3 of them were wearing masks. They were wearing like, it covered their top of their head and their body. It was almost like the inside liner for like a helmet mask, which is nice, you know. But they were like, I was like, oh, you guys are back. And I'm like, are you the guys I saw on the Gold Coast? And they're like, no. Like, and then it was funny. They were like, no, we're not those guys. And I'm like, well, how'd you know I saw some guys in the Gold Coast? And so I stopped to let them go by me. And then they were hanging around, and we interacted a little bit, but I saw they were snickering. They were like, and I'm like, you guys are making fun of me, which is fine. You know, I would do the same thing. If I was their age and saw a guy my age walking around live streaming on YouTube, I'm like, this guy's an idiot. You know, like, who do you think you are, you know, live streaming, you know, on, and look at the beautiful trellis we got here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Yeah, see how this is exactly how you use it. You got to turn around here. You got these little seating areas. I've sat in these, and they used to have tables in them where you could get like a burrito or something, or from, you know, the taco place, or get some sushi and just sit there and eat it. And then they usually have program displays here. I've seen them have little live action plays and stuff here. They you know, they get this, and they, of course, they seasonally decorate this. They'll light this up for the holidays. They already got lights strung across there. You get your wine bar, you got your sushi place, got your coffee place, and you got your condos, parking. They kept this parking when it was the Children's Hospital. Yeah, they were making me nervous too. So yeah, back to Tara, back to the story. Tara was watching, and other people were watching too, which I appreciate that in case anything weird happens. And so I thought, I let these kids pass by, and I thought they were just going to go on their merry way. Well, they were kind of trailing me. They were kind of trailing me and kind of creeping behind me for like a block. And I was like, I actually, at one point I stopped when I got the floor and I turned around. I said, I was joking. I said, what, you guys gonna gang up on me? And they were just like, no. I was like, are you guys making fun of me? They're like, no, we're not making. I think what they were doing, they were filming me, and they're gonna post a TikTok. They're like, look at this idiot, and that's fine. You know, I'm in the public gaze. You know, maybe I'll get more followers off of whatever they post. But then, so I kind of got miffed, and I was like, okay, everybody, I'm gonna sign off. And I kind of cursed to let them know I was annoyed. And then I ended the live, and I put the gimbal. They were just gonna like try to snatch my phone or something. And so I put the gimbal in my back pocket, ended the live, and then I just started. I'm like, I'm gonna go home and get some dinner. And then they cruised by me and kind of checked me out. And I know for sure one of the kids was one of the ones I saw on the Gold Coast earlier, because I could see him, and I got the video. Because they forgot that I was videoing them inadvertently, you know, and they were fine. These kids were fine. They were just messing around. But it's just like, I didn't anticipate all the, you know, Little Village, Humboldt Park, West Garfield Park, going down to Bronzeville and stuff like that. I get a group of 4 teenagers from Gold Coast, Lincoln Park. It's like the Van Buren boys in the Seinfeld. They were gonna mess with me, and I was like, and it could have been totally fine. It could have been like they were just interested in what I was doing and trying to scope me out. But it was the mask. It was the fact that they put on masks. I was like, you know, and it's because they knew I was filming, and they were gonna interact with me, so they put on masks on bikes. And it's just interesting. Tara saw the whole thing. I don't know what your perspective was, but Tara checked in, and I appreciate that. And I don't think anything bad was going to come of it, but it's just anything you want to, you know, anything can happen when you're walking, live streaming. Anything can happen at any time. You know. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, thanks for checking in. Yeah, that's what, when I saw the mask, I was like, they were probably, I saw like one of the boys was older and he wasn't wearing a mask. He was like their ringleader, and like the younger kids like, oh, let's go get this guy. And so these guys probably are still following me, and they'll be like my new trolls on YouTube, because they'll be like, let's make fun of this guy, which is fine. Look at, you know, I try to reach out and engage with people, and you know, I thought they would have empathy for me because I was banned for TikTok, but they were like, no, he's fresh meat. Maybe they're the guys that got me banned from TikTok, and it's all part of the plan. Look at this courtyard here. Here we're heading down Lincoln Avenue here early in the morning. Look at these nice balconies. But hey, thanks for listening to the spiel. You know, it in no way compares. When I got off the Howard stop and the guy on the scooter literally bumped my shoulder, like physically engaged with me and said, stop filming me, dude. And I'm like, dude, I'm not filming you. And he had a group of people that surrounded me. This is when I got off the Howard, and they were like, what are you filming? And I said, dude, I got kicked off of TikTok. I'm on Instagram right now. I'm just heading to the Best Buy to get a gimbal. Dude, I'm not filming. I'm like, look, there's cameras all over the CTA here. Why are you worried about me filming? Why are you so paranoid? And then his friend was like, oh, he's vlogging. And then he backed off. We did a fist bump, and he let me go. And there was 4 robberies that night at like armed gunpoint that night in the north side. And I wonder if those guys were lookouts, you know, and they just wanted to make sure I wasn't a cop. And so, you know, it shows you Chicago's safe enough that parents feel comfortable to let their kids ride around bikes and wear masks and harass streetwalkers. So, and I'm sure the kids were totally fine. I shouldn't call them kids because they wouldn't like me. I wouldn't like somebody my age calling them kids if I was a teenager. But we ain't gonna let that stop us. Look at the nice motorcycle. That's nothing. You know, I gotta walk through Inglewood and Pullman, and these people always want me to go to Inglewood. People want me to go to Parkway Gardens. So yeah, you know why I keep putting it off, because and honestly, Tara, those parents' kids were probably all millionaires. They probably live in the Gold Coast or downtown, like next to Vic Cohen, because there's a lot of people that live downtown. There's a lot of people that go to school downtown, and those kids probably were worth more than I was as far as their trust funds. But okay, so welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Oz Park. Here we are at the corner of Geneva, Lorby, which Geneva turns into Lorby, Webster, and Lincoln. And there you see the Target, and that used to be a hospital. See right here, 2200 North on Webster. Welcome to Oz Park. Here's the Tin Man statue. We've done it several times. I'm going to film it again in landscape mode, and we'll check out Oz Park here. These are John Kearney statues. We've talked about these several times. There's the Tin Man. Oh, he's looking good. He's got his heart. He's already visited the Wizard, and it's a very popular statue. You can see here on this 6-way intersection, and there you see the plaque. And so we'll walk through Oz Park a little bit early in the morning. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Oz Park. Sometimes people were playing pickleball over here. Good morning. Yeah, Zoe, thanks for tuning in from Tasmania. That is great. I know you're in a completely different time zone. It's already evening. You're already partying on Thursday night, and look at the sprinklers going here. The sprinklers are watering the Scarecrow. So here, we'll go by the Scarecrow. We're still in Oz Park. Here's they call it the Emerald Gardens. They got this gated area, supposedly no dogs, because they got some nice planted stuff here. Here's the Scarecrow, and he's got his diploma. John Kearney statue. This one's made out of brass. So the Tin Man is made out of car bumper parts, chrome, which is what John Kearney is known for. And I know you've all heard this before. I'm doing it again so I can cut this out and hopefully put it on YouTube. Oh, I'm going to get sprayed by the sprinkler here. But here, we'll head through Oz Park. There's a few people walking the dogs over here. Zoe, so how should I say it? I know I mispronounce everything. And Z-O-E-Y, Zoe, Zoe. I know, I'm sure with the Australian accent, you say it differently. I do love Australian accents. And I got a Midwestern kind of country accent. It's not my accent is no way a true Chicago accent. People mistake, because of how I ham up and say Chicago, it actually angers true native Chicagoans, because I do not have a true Chicago accent. Chris will back up on that, because how I mispronounce Devon, and I didn't even say oops, I didn't even say Rogers Park right here. I got this little button here. Let's see. I'm trying to get this button off my screen. how do I get that off? Something popped up on my screen here, and I'm trying to get it off. That's the first time it happened. Yeah, thanks for appreciating the different accent. Here's the dogs going on here. Oh, that's what happened. So the thing, huh? There we go. There, I got it back up. Good. Okay, so I was seeing that right there. I was looking at the screen, not looking at what I was filming, and then people probably thought I was zooming in on stuff. I'm actually like looking at a comment, and that's what happened when I came out of the Howard stop. I was looking at comments, wasn't even looking. I was filming. This guy runs up, "Why are you filming me?" I'm like, "Dude, I didn't even realize I was filming you. I'm standing here looking at comments. I just got out of the train station." And he was like 100 feet away. He came over to me, and I turned the camera away when he came towards me, and he's like, I'm like, "Dude, I'm not filming you." I turned the camera away. When you came closer to me, you were 100 feet away, and you ran over to me and said, "Why are you filming me?" And it was like, "Why you run towards the camera if you don't want to be filmed?" Oz Park, yeah.
Yeah, I assume it's...
Here, let's here's the tennis courts. Let's head down Let's head down this street. Let's see. We'll cut over to Burling or something. Let me make sure I'm zoomed all the way out here. There we go. Good. I look like an undercover detective. Those kids just didn't know what to make of me. They're like, look at this dude. I got long hippie hair, this beard that needs to be trimmed. I'm going to trim it this weekend. You think, why would in the summertime, why would I have a big burly beard? But it'll feel nice in the wintertime. Yeah, look at this. Beautiful housing here. We're just south of Oz Park. Heading to work. We got cool 62 degrees. Such a beautiful morning with the sunshine. September is a great month. The lake keeps us warm. The water temperature of the lake's the warmest. So Labor Day is a good time to swim in Lake Michigan, especially when it's going to be in the 90s. And so that's probably, if I do anything, if I do any live streaming this weekend, it'll probably, I just walk through the park and head to the beach, or take a bike ride north and south along the lakefront, you know. Yeah, we could do that. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Got to check out Oz Park, the two of the John Kearney statues. Some people don't like the Cowardly Lion, his grimace. They caught him with the grimace. But you know, there's also Dorothy with her ruby slippers and Toto. A nice. They got all 4 statues, and people mentioned, they said, well, where's the Wicked Witch or the Wizard, you know? And so but unfortunately John Kearney passed away, so someone else would have to do those statues, because all 4 of those statues in Oz Park are John Kearney statues. Hey, happy Thursday. Is it Thursday? This week's just flying by. That's another reason I do a lot of early morning walks, is people are sleeping in, people are commuting to work. There is less people on the street, and people are always like, where's everybody at? Why is there's nobody in your sidewalks on your live streams, even when I'm downtown? It sounds like it's early in the morning, you know? And, you know, it's easier to film because there's less chance of a negative encounter. You know, there's a fire department right there. Across Armitage. So the brown line's that way. We're on Howe and Armitage. We'll continue to head south on Howe. Look at that nice second-story balcony. How, yeah, you get people biking down the bike lanes. There's bike lanes on either side of Armitage. Look at these nice, quiet, one-way streets. You can like walk down the middle of the street. Am I still coming through okay? Let's see, good. Oh, I'm missing comments. Good. Yeah, the hippie laugh, stoner laugh. Oh, you were in Oz Park in 2009. Yeah. 3-day walk, 60 miles. You walked 60 miles over 3 days, Lisa? That's great. That's 20 miles a day. I can relate. That's a lot of walking. That's great. Look at this 1960 Howe. Look at that nice fence there, the picket fence. And then they got the fence behind it. They got a mirror with the hole. This is like Buddhist stuff almost. Look at this. Look at that, how you can look through the peephole. It's lined up with the fountain. Yeah, I know, Zoe. I know your September is your spring. And we had to see, look, you get to see our fall when you're having your spring. And, oh yeah, the logistics of putting together a walk like that. So did you walk all over Chicago, or was it other places around? I'm glad you had, Oz Park was part of that itinerary. It sounds like you walked a lot of cool places. So you've walked through Chicago. You've walked through Lincoln Park. You probably walked down some of the same streets I walked down, at least in 2009. You know, that's great. Oh yeah, cancer's horrible. I can relate, and yeah, my empathy goes out to anybody dealing with cancer, because we've talked about that before. And my mom succumbed to that, ovarian, and that's good. You know, you get walking's good for the body. You know, you breathe. You feel really worn out after 20-mile walks. You sleep well, and your body really feels it. Autumn, yeah, autumn. The correct, us crazy Americans, we butchered the English language. What did Winston Churchill say? America and England are two countries divided by a common language. I don't speak as eloquently as Winston Churchill, but he was hard to understand sometimes for Americans because he had such a thick British accent, which was almost an aristocratic. 5 to 9. Hey, so you got rush. Yeah, you got rush hour even on Tasmania. Oh, look at our rush hour. It's not bad at all, is it? Look at this. Look at the nice residential streets here. Yeah, appreciate your mom. That's great. Yeah. No, my mother was great. She didn't deserve it. Like, the poor woman, she goes, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. She didn't do drugs. She was, went to church. She was a teacher's aide. And my sister's a teacher, a real, teaches, certified teacher in Texas. Followed in my mom's footsteps. My sister used to be a vice president of the bank. She was a vice president of a major regional bank in Texas, and she gave it all up. She was on executive course. She was going to be like on the board of directors. She gave it all up because, they're wealthy enough because her husband sells insurance, and so she says, I'm tired of working at a bank. This is all like a decade ago. She gives it all up and goes back to teaching, takes a pay cut, but she's a great teacher, and she runs like a crew. She's like the team leader, and she's involved in her kids' schooling. She's involved in her community schooling, and look at that. I appreciate teachers. I appreciate nurses, doctors, people that work in hospice, and it's not just because of COVID, it's because I realize how much they helped my mom when she was going through her thing. And, every other people deal with cancer. Lisa knows what I'm talking about. And thanks for doing the walk there. 60 miles. Look at that. Look at these. See, these are some of the tear down rebuilds. They did multiple lots. This is at least 3 or 4 lots that they consolidated. And then over the last 20 years, they built this. Oop. I lost my gimbal here. Hold on a second here. I heard it like churning around here. Here, we'll get this going here. Bear with me 1 second. I heard my gimbal kind of churning around here. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. It didn't like the sideways mode. So here, we'll get this going again. So temporarily, I got landscape here, or portrait. There we go. Let's hit the button here. Let's see if I can get the button on the side. We'll turn this sideways, and then if I hit this button, there we go. We're back. Good. So my gimbal was trying to tell me something. It was kind of stuttering, and I think it didn't have a good grip on the phone, and so I thought it was just like somebody trying to text me. I see it's doing it again. So we'll see if I can keep the gimbal going here. I might have to readjust and rebalance. I think that's what I got to do. I got to rebalance. Let me rebalance the holder here. Hold on a second here. See, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. There we go. Yeah, so if I put the holder more in the center of the phone, it was leaning, it was sticking out too far, and my gimbal was trying to give me an indication by vibrating. It was like, center of the holder. I was like, okay. Yeah, thanks for what, Bob. Thanks. I saw that. Sharon, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I got a great family. My dad's still around. My dad's about to turn 76, so he's going strong. Bob, I saw that comment about watching it on the big screen outside. That's great. And yeah, I agree. This is TikTok's loss. It's taught me a lesson that don't trust TikTok, no matter what your content is. They can ban anybody at any time for any reason. They own their platform. We're just using it. They allow us to use it just so they can milk money out of us. And you know, they entice creators to, like me, post content, not because I'm doing it for the money. It's just like a kickback. I appreciate people giving tips and all that stuff on the lives, and then subscriptions. So I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought, oh, okay, well, we'll, you know, I'm giving back. People are giving back to me. It's a win-win. And then they ban my account, keep the money, keep the subscription money, keep my creator fund money. So I'm burnt with TikTok. And so we discovered YouTube. We can film in landscape. As long as I can keep 3,800 kilobits per second, we'll build a whole new YouTube audience. And then so I'll still do TikTok as a backup. And then I'll go live so people can know where to find me. I'll be on multiple platforms. So if one ever goes down, we got Instagram as a backup. We got YouTube as a backup. We got TikTok as a backup. And I'm never going to put all my eggs in one basket again. And TikTok, that's TikTok's loss. And other people have tried to warn me about TikTok. The only reason, probably the major reason, thank you, oh, it's a beautiful dog. Probably the major reason I have any of my content back up is thanks to Darren Monroe. And the poor guy, his account was banned a month before mine, and he sent me we already changed phone numbers and text message by then. And he goes, dude, you better back up your account. So I started backing up the videos I was posting in July, and that's why we have any of those from July, you know. There, look at the school. There's a gymnasium. Yeah, we went by the Lincoln Park High School. There's the cleaners. Oh, you went to the dog water park. Yeah, Oz Park. You probably went to, I see your comment there, Lisa. You probably went to Wiggly Field, which is like a play on Wrigley Field. And that's a nice dog park. There's several dog parks all around here. Here, look at the great happens here. I guess this is the Newberry School. This is like an elementary school. And right here at Burling, yeah, we'll go down Burling. Then we can pop out by the L. Maybe we'll get Tootsie O going by. Yeah, that sounds like a good walk, Lisa. They dropped you off at a water dog park, and then you walked down to Oz Park, and then you walked on the lake and Soldier Field. Yeah, that was a long walk. So you walked all along the lakefront bike path there, through Streeterville, past all the beaches. You went past at least Oak Street Beach and Ohio Street Beach, and went down past the Buckingham Fountain. It's the way it sounds, and ended up at Soldier Field. That's great. Let me get the camera straight here. Hold on, bear with me 1 second here. Nope, went the wrong way. Went the wrong way here. It's always counterintuitive how to get this straight. There we go. Now we're straight. Good. So let's go down Burling. Let's check out the most expensive house that's still listed in Lincoln Park. Last time I checked, it was $30 million. It might be bought and sold by now, but it might still be on the market. So if you got an extra $30 million laying around, you could live right here on Burling in Lincoln Park, Chicago. Yeah, we discovered YouTube. I should have been on YouTube all along. And hopefully YouTube will make it easier for people to discover live streams. They haven't. I was checking out their shorts. Their shorts are how they're trying to compete with TikTok. Just like Instagram has Reels, TikTok has, or YouTube has Shorts, TikTok has TikToks. TikTok's big innovation with live streaming was as people are scrolling through TikToks, you'll come across a live, and then once you click on that live, then you'll start scrolling through other lives. And so it's easy for people to discover live streamers via TikTok. That's why Darren says it's the most organic. We're already past that $30 million house. It was north of us, so I should have entered a block or two north, but we could still, I'm tired of showing that house. I showed it before. We can do it some other time. It's the Perillo house. It's not Joe Perillo. It's a different Perillo family. They spell the name slightly different. And it's been on the market for a while, $30 million. It actually was listed closer to 40, 50 at one point, but they knocked the price down. Isn't that amazing? But here we're on Burling. Look how wide this street is. But I'm bouncing all over here. Supposedly YouTube's supposed to do the same thing with their shorts. They're supposed to, with their new mobile app that I now have access to, and thanks to you for helping me get me over the threshold, you'll be scrolling through YouTube shorts and they'll stick a live in there. And then you'll go over it and there'll be live streamers using their mobile app to live stream through YouTube. But they haven't rolled it out yet. I was scrolling through the shorts last night. They had no live streams interjected within their shorts. That's what they need to do, because that's what TikTok does. And I don't know if Instagram does it with their reels or not, you know. No, they don't mix them in. And I read articles earlier this month. They said they were going to start doing that, but they haven't started it yet. They haven't rolled it out yet. And maybe they don't have the algorithmic capacity to do it. You know, their lawyers are like, be careful, you know. Once you put the live streaming in, anything can happen. I mean, I realize that as a live streamer. But here we're heading down Burling. We're down to, look at this new construction. Yeah, see, every time I discover something new, this has gone up really fast. We're down here by North Avenue. I've still got a good concept. Here comes the L coming by. Good, so we'll get the L coming by. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Burling and North. Well, this truck's gonna block my path. Come on. Come on. What's the odds of a big truck rolling through right when I want to walk the street? Get the L going by here. Yeah, we get it going around the curve here. Yeah, we get the end of it. Sounds of the city. It's okay. It was already going by too far. Look at this nice little park here. So they got this. So Burling, it has a cul-de-sac here because they. And look how that fence is down right there. Huh, that's interesting. They got the fence so if you walk into the park, they could gate off the park. But I'm gonna walk right through this. It looks like a car hit the fence here, which makes it convenient for me to just step out here. You see, here's where the L makes a bend around North Avenue. We're down here by, here, perfect. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to North Avenue in Burling. Here we got a Brown Line L train coming around the bend here. Look how nice this looks. Scenes of the city. Welcome to Chicago. Yeah, I think I saw Fiona on that train. That was, I know what you're talking about from Shameless. That's great. Yeah, you see how it curves around the other way. It got like an S curve here. And there used to be a station there. They removed the station a while back. And that's why this curves around Halsted and North Avenue, the L there. Yeah, we'll take the pink line down. We'll go back and revisit the Shameless house, and I'll try to look for V's and other, you know, people's houses and the bar, and you know, we'll go down to Cermak. We got some nice theaters on Cermak and other historic buildings. We could head down to Little Village. So here we're over at Halsted and North. We'll cross over here. We'll start heading south. Here's the Apple store. So there's two Apple stores that I know of in the heart of Chicago. Of course, the major flagship is there on by the river. And here we'll look up Halsted. This is Halsted looking north. The Steppenwolf feeder's up there. Gary Sinise founded that with two other people back in the 70s. Of course, Gary Sinise is Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. He got his start at the Steppenwolf feeder. And then we'll cross over here. Here's the Apple store. Design within reach, yeah. What's this, Joybird? Yeah, Frank Frank Gallagher's still looking for me. Frank Gallagher's still looking me for the first one that I sent you. I know it was deleted. I sent you the copy of the first time I went by the Shameless house, and you could see in the comments they said Frank Gallagher is looking for you. He's out to get you because I filmed his house. And there's two people, I think they're brothers. They live in that house, and they would, if people would pay them $10, they would let them take a picture on the porch, because of course there's always a steady stream of, even when I was there, people were getting out of their cars and filming it. It's even on Google Maps. It puts a dot on their map. It says the Shameless house. Go to Google Maps and type in Shameless house, and it'll take you right there. It's a landmark. It's almost like a National Historic Landmark. Isn't that amazing? There's the apple. There's the elk going by. Look at that. Let's zoom in here. Look at that. Going over Halstead. Scenes of the city early in the morning. Hey, we got the light. We got the light, so we'll pan around here. Look at that. That's a beautiful building. Am I zoomed out all the way? There we go. There, the new city. So look at this view straight down Clybourne. You can go to the One Chicago Tower. They call this the new city. Yeah, let's walk over this way. Look at that, Zangerly. Zangerly, it has a name up there. When they still named buildings, it's got a nice cupola turret there on the corner, nice windows. It's right here at Clybourne and Weed Street. I told you there's a Weed Street, no one sold that sign. Usually somebody steals the signs, they gotta put them up high. That one you can still get if you want a Weed Street and put it in your living room. I'm not recommending that, that's illegal, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'll look into that. I'll look into that if the Alibi is a real pub. I think it's based on a real pub. Does anybody else know that? We're talking about the Shameless bar. Yeah. Will, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for finding me on YouTube. I appreciate it. See, there's one of the water towers we lost, and it's replaced by a cell tower. Look at that. They put the cell repeaters on there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chicago. We're over on Halstead, going by the Ethan Allen. Yeah, do me a favor, Zoe. You can go to Google and type in Alibi Bar and see if you can find me an address. There should be information on Google or the internet. Or if you do a quick search, type in the Shameless Bar Alibi and see if we can get an address, and then I can tell you. I have to do the same thing. I got the second phone. I can pull out the second phone. Let's do it right now. I got the internet right here, and we'll go through the new city here. See how they got this little plaza drop off here. Oops, hold on a second here. So I'm searching for the, with my second hand here, I'll search Alibi Shameless location. Here we go. The scenes at the Alibi were recorded at the Warner Brothers backlot in Burbank, California. Most of the indoor scenes, they just use the Chicago scenes for background. A lot of Shameless was filmed in Hollywood on backlots, and they just used Chicago for the background shots. A lot of Chicago Fire and Chicago PD is filmed on location because I see them around the city all the time. Here we're in the new city. Look at these rocks they got in the middle here. Hey, if you just tuned in, we're at this new city development here, north in Clybourne, south of North in Clybourne. See, they got all the new housing they built over there by the river. They call this new city. They got a big giant parking garage. They got a movie theater, and one of those nice cinemas where you can get the beer and the food. Sounds of the summer. They got Dick's Sporting Goods. We're getting the reflection off the... It's a mixed-use development. They got housing, King's Pizza Bowl. They got a bowling alley, Nando's. Look, there's a Nando's. See, I said there's Nando's all over the city. There's what's Earl's But this is all relatively new. This was all built in the last 5 years or so. See, 1538 North Clybourne. They already got lights on the trees. So we'll head down Clybourne. We'll see if the sun lets us just head straight down Clybourne, and we can film the One Chicago Tower in the background there. AMC Steve Nando's, Perry Perry, AMC, King's Bowl. Look at this nice bike lane. They got a concrete protector protecting the bike lane from traffic. That is great, you know. Clybourne's wide enough that we can do that. So, yeah, good morning. Happy Thursday. Grace, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, thanks for finding me on YouTube. Lisa, you met Gary Sinise a couple of years ago. Yeah, he's a great guy, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, he does the acting to Find a Foundation. He does great for veterans causes. I saw him on Memorial Day at Washington, D.C., 4th of July. He always does outreach for the wounded, because people in the military, they really related to his character. My dad, who went through Vietnam, even though he wasn't wounded, fortunately, he knew he had friends that were wounded. And, you know, for him to play a wounded veteran in the PTSD and the depression you go through, you know, and how he came out of it and still was able to have a meaningful life, you know, and that's, yeah, people all deal with that, yeah. Bri Dog. That's awesome. Yeah, Burbank, California. Thanks, though. You were ahead of me. So the comments weren't scrolling. I had to scroll down because when I zoomed in, I lost the comments, and you were already ahead of me. Thanks for finding that. Yeah. So, you know, that's the magic of Hollywood. You know, they do. Shameless is set in Chicago, and that's what makes it so great. You know. Yeah, the new city. So we'll leave the new city. Look, they're blowing leaves. Look at the skyline there. Oops. There, we'll get the skyline as we head in there. I'll just keep that on the background as we head towards it. Bri Dog. Call me Bri Dog. So this is this gap. This is where Cabrini Green used to be, and there's a few remnants of it south of us, but mostly it's gone. And you see how, you know, there's gentrification issues with the North and Clybourne area. It's been like that for the past 25 years since I moved to Chicago. I remember in the 90s, the area at North and Clybourne, Kingsbury, was a lot more seedier. There was prostitution going on. It was a lot more empty lots, empty parking lots. The bridge was different. The North Avenue Bridge, they replaced it with a suspension bridge, which is beautiful. But the older bridge was a sketchy bridge when you had to walk across that long turning basin they have there, which has beautiful views of the skyline. But people were like, don't go down there. They were like, don't use the North and Clybourne Red Line stop. I remember getting off of the North and Clybourne Red Line stop, and the Guardian Angels would be there helping people out. You know, the Guardian Angels are a organization. They do community outreach. They're not a gang at all. They had like jackets that looked like the Hell's Angels, but it said Guardian Angels. And they would help people watch the train station so people wouldn't get mugged, you know. And that was back in the 90s at North and Clybourne. They redid that station when Apple went in there. So there's no more sign of a place being gentrified than an Apple store moving in there, you know. And the Apple put in money to the city for the restoration of the Red Line, and made that plaza there. So right when you get off the Red Line, you're at the Apple store, which is great for them. But yeah, you remember that? Yeah. 2,000 miles, yeah. Yeah, that shows you how vast. Well, you know, Australia's vast, and so is America, yeah. Here, let me zoom out a little bit. We're getting closer to the skyline there. Look how nice this looks. See how, look at the Old Town. Look at the Old Town mural there. Look at that. Look how nice that looks. Yeah, I want to cut that out. So welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Old Town. We're heading down Clybourne. And this strip here where we're at the location of the former Cabrini Green. We're at Lorabee and Clybourne. There's the Sears Tower and the Target over there that's looking down towards Division. Here's Lorabee. There's a nice mural over here. Here's this church. Look at the long shadows. And we'll head across here once the traffic. I'm amazed. Where'd this traffic come from? There was no traffic until I went across the street here. There, Old Town. We're on the backside of Old Town. So this is not Wells Street. This is Clybourne. And look, a U.S. certified LEED green building. Yeah, 2009. That's great. So actually, what I want to do is I want to cross the street. Look at that mural on that building. So there we go. We'll cross. Make sure no one's coming in the bike lane here. We'll go by the Old Town sign. So let me turn the comments back on here. Let's see. Yeah, it's a 3-day drive. You could do it in 2, but you're driving all night, you know. And yeah, if you drive at normal speeds and type for bay, it's a long way, yeah. So imagine that, you know, now it's a 3-day drive. You could fly it in 4 hours from Chicago to LA. New York, it's like 6 hours. People do that red eye. Look at the Old Town. Make sure I'm zoomed out. Oh, there we go. You can hear the red line. That's the red line subway below us. Sounds of the city. I'll cross the street here once this traffic gets through this stop sign, because it'll be a clearer view to the One Chicago Tower. See, that's what I'm talking about. You can look straight down Clybourne to the One Chicago Tower and that new housing there on Wells Street. We're over on Clybourne, heading towards the Central Business District. Yeah, thanks for finding us, Will. Tacoma, Washington. Wow, yeah, you went all over. It's a long way, but it's beautiful. I mean, you could see a lot of scenery along the way. You know, if you drive from LA, you should at least stop at the Grand Canyon or go up through Monument Valley, and you know, on the border of Arizona and Utah there. Check out the beautiful mesas, or go through Colorado, and then you got the Great Plains. You can just blow through that. Once you get to Iowa, you're like, are we there yet? Iowa's beautiful, beautiful farm country. Little rolling meadows and Field of Dreams, that type of stuff, you know. Here we are heading down Clybourne in Chicago. Yeah, we'll get over to LA eventually. I wouldn't mind doing some street walking in LA. I'm waiting for the winter time to do that. We'll go down south, we'll go to New Orleans. Got all kinds of plans. We got plans. Yeah, it's worth it if you got the time. If you're from New York to LA, that's a long haul. Because you got to go over the Appalachians. You either got to go through Pennsylvania or, you know, further south. Just don't take the Pennsylvania Turnpike. It's a lot of tolls. Lots of tolls. Yeah, look at this great view here. We'll cross over here once this bike goes through here. So you got people using the nice bike lane here. That's great. Yeah, good. We'll cross. We'll get you some skyline views here. Get your divvy bike. Is this an e-bike right here? Yeah, avoid the turnpike. That's good advice. I agree. So here we're going to go by the Jewel Osco. So there we're going to be staring into the sun for just a second because I want to get you this nice panoramic landscape view of the skyline. If we get over far enough, yeah, we can see the down to the Trump on the right, the Trump Tower. Then there's the One Chicago Tower, and of course the John Hancock's on the left. But if I continue to walk towards this Jewel Osco, and we're walking towards the sun, once I get to this area, I'll be able to get the sun out of the picture, and we should get clear views of the skyline here. So you see this, they built this new housing. They built this new housing along Clybourne and then we got the new housing there on Wells. This whole skyline has completely changed since they dismantled Cabrini Green. Because I Tokyo 3 times, and the transit is just amazing in Tokyo. You know, just look at their transit map, the spaghetti of train lines, and you got the donut line that goes around. And of course, you know, I got to go to other areas of Japan, the beautiful Shinto shrines, historic locations, see the mountains and the you know. So probably Tokyo, because I like cities, and Tokyo is probably perhaps the largest city in the world. You know, and as far as density, you know, it doesn't have as tall buildings, but it has a lot of tall buildings, you know, and I want to go back. But I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Africa. I want to go to Australia. Hey, I want to go to Tasmania. I want to go to Sydney, you know, check out Sydney's got good transit, and the beautiful beaches up there by the Gold Coast in Brisbane. You know, there's plenty of places to go. I want to go to Fiji. I want to go to Rio de Janeiro and go over, go film the favelas, go up the hills there, you know. I have been to Guadalajara in Mexico, which is amazing. I like Guadalajara. I've took the subway in Guadalajara. I've been to Zacatecas. Zacatecas is probably my second favorite place that I've been. It's up in the, it's a Spanish gold mining town like Guanajuato in Mexico. It's in the Jalisco, it's in Zacatecas, the state of Zacatecas, north of Jalisco. And it used to be a Spanish silver mining town, which was horrible. You know, the Spanish were horrible. You know, how they treated the indigenous people and how they mined the silver. But they've had these beautiful Spanish Baroque churches nestled up, and it's like you're in Spain. You feel like you're in Spain, you're in New Mexico, and it's very walkable. It's cool because it's 6,000 foot elevation. And so, you know, even in the summertime, it's a little cooler up there, you know. Here, we'll head across Sedgwick here. So I got to start watching my bandwidth. This is where, if I go down Franklin or Orleans, my bandwidth drops. So I got to stay. I'll head over to Wells here. We'll go past the library. And yeah, how was the volleyball event? 80,000 people. 80,000 people at the volleyball event. Hey, here comes the L going by. Yeah, you got a college game coming up. 80,000 people watch volleyball at a football stadium in Nebraska. That is great. Hey, that's good. Yeah, I would love to go to Tasmania. Down under, the land down under. I want to see the Southern Cross in the constellation there. You know, we always see the Big Dipper and the North Star. You see the Southern Cross because you see a whole different nighttime sky than we see on the Southern Hemisphere. Here's Chicago Public Library. Yeah, this is the best thing about this. I've got to meet people from all over the world. I miss my friends that tuned in from Ghana and India. Well, no, TikTok's banned in India. TikTok is banned in India. TikTok is banned in Hong Kong. And when I mentioned that on TikTok, they censored my text message. When I just text messaged somebody that TikTok's banned in Hong Kong, because my friends from Hong Kong visited me and they said, we can't watch you because we can't get the Chinese version and we can't get the American version of TikTok in Hong Kong. Isn't that amazing? And if you mention that on TikTok, they'll censor it. Isn't that amazing? I tell you, it's not free speech. It's corporate regulated speech. Oh yeah, we could do some lives there. That's a long flight though. That's a long flight. You would have to have a layover in Sydney, I guess. Yeah. There are non-stop flights from Chicago to... am I zoomed out? Let's see. There we go. Yeah, that's a 80,000 person volleyball event. That's amazing. So, thank you. Bear with me while we're staring into the sun here. I have to travel. That's the drawback. We're getting. Remember how they had Stonehenge? They had or New York. They called it. What did they call it? Skyhenge or something like that, where the rising sun aligned with the east-west streets of New York. What happens in Chicago, it happens in other cities too. So as we near the September 21st equinox, where equal days, equal time of day and light, darkness for the sunrise and sunset, we'll have the same event in Chicago, and so we'll try to film that. But here we're finally able to turn south here, across Division, get out of the sun a little bit here. Is my bandwidth doing okay? Good. 3,800 kilobits per second. Manhattan Hinge, that's what they call it. Yeah, Manhattan Hinge. Yeah, I saw All Day New York City and all those other people. Marty Mayora, he was like, look at all these people. All these people just watching the sunset, It's a true viral event. Here's the Aldi's. You can look into the Aldi's here. Shop at Aldi's. Right here in North and Clybourne. Yeah, see, I'm such an influencer, right? This kids from last night are telling, they're like, look, he's filming the Aldi's. What a jerk. This old guy live streaming, walking around Lincoln Park. Let's get him with the bikes. Let's put on the mask and we'll heckle him. Old Town Park. Level, what is this? That's what they call this. Yeah, here's this housing on Wells. We went over, they had a block party about a month ago. I still might have the footage from that, I don't know. Yeah, Marty Mayer is great. Yeah, he'll go inside a grocery store and he'll be flipping stuff around, and he's always taking the bus and the train from Bronx to Manhattan, goes by Yankee Stadium and all that stuff. Yeah, that's why I've learned by watching those guys. I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. Some other people need to be walking around Chicago. If Vic Cohen can do it, I can do it. And we'll just do it on a different format here. And Marty knows All Day New York City. He knows Dan. They're all friends. And Dan knows Kenny. And Kenny knows Candace, and Candace, bi-coastal. She's in San Francisco and New York, and she's doing her own startup. A nice woman-owned enterprise. We should support that. Wells and Hill. I think Candace is giving up the street walking, and I don't blame her. Seattle, Tim's great. There, hopefully I'm coming back now. So slowly but surely I'm learning the shadow zones. Thanks for staying with me. So now I realize I can't walk past the Walter Payton High School because I lose my bandwidth. So I'll have to, at least I was able to make it down to Division without losing my connection. hopefully I'm coming back here. I'm back up to 38 kilobits per second. Doreen, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for finding me on YouTube. Welcome to Chicago. Yeah, I lost my connection for a second when I went past the Walter Payton High School, so hopefully I'm back streaming in landscape mode. It takes a lot more juice to stream in this resolution, and I'm learning where I can't go, where the dead spots are for cell phone coverage, at least for my service provider. And so the Walter Payton High School, unfortunately, is one of those, which is probably good because I don't need to be walking by there filming the kids going to the Ruben Salazar in the high school. And I just, enjoy showing off the nice college prep high school we got here in Chicago. So we'll head down LaSalle. I probably should cross LaSalle. Let's see if my bandwidth's doing okay. Oh, Dan and Kenny are awesome. Yeah, I follow Anna Robb in Detroit. I like Anna Robb. She does a good job. I followed her. And I hope she's still doing well. The poor woman, she got banned for a week for filming the Beyonce concert, but then they let her back. And see, at least she got a warning. I wish I would have got a week ban, but they just totally deleted and didn't tell me why. And so she had problems with her account almost being banned too. And she does such a great job showing the restaurants and how, Detroit's in a constant state of renewal. And she lives in the city, and she's a woman that walks around the streets of Detroit by herself. And I realize the risk she's taken doing that, not because it's Detroit, it could be any city. And male or female, it doesn't matter, but I commend her for doing that. And it shows you can walk around Detroit. I also want to visit Detroit. I like Detroit. I like Michigan. Yeah. Yeah, Duran's great. Duran's on his one wheel, goes around LA. He's got like hundreds, so he's almost like 1 million followers. He's like hundreds of thousands. I know Dan's like 600,000. I think Duran's higher than that, like 800,000. And he's on his one wheel. As Danny, our good friend and fellow Chicago, and Danny told me he's probably a stringer. He probably resells his footage of the accidents and stuff to the local media, and which is good. That's why he's out all night in LA. He and I don't know if Tim did that in Seattle or not. Here we got some ambulance stuff going on here. We'll head down towards what is this? Oak Street and Dearborn. We're going past the new urbanist stuff. We'll walk right through Washington Square. I got 38 kilobits per second. We're streaming strong. Yeah, he has a press pass. So Dan has a press pass too? That's interesting. See, Dan's been doing this for a lot. I've learned so much by watching Dan and Duran, how they do it. And Duran sometimes will go a long time without even interacting with the comments. He'll just let them fly by. So I need to learn that. I like interacting. I like the small, engaged audience like we got here on YouTube, which is great. And but when you get a big audience like they got, the comments are just flying by, and they just have to let them go because you can't interact when that many people are watching. They got thousands of people watching every time they stream. Look, there's the fire truck number 98. We're here at Dearborn and Oak Street, right across the Newberry Library. So we'll head into Washington Square Park here. And hopefully this is under control. It just seems like a ambulance was called, and so the fire truck came out too. Maybe someone was in the elevator or something. You'll be able, friends from the UK across the pond there. Our Irish, British, Scottish, well, I know Irish, it's not the UK. Our British, Scottish, and Welsh friends, and then we got people from Ireland that tune in too. And some people in Scotland don't want to be part of the UK. Some people from the Basque region in Spain don't want to be part of Spain, or even Barcelona. I gotta say it right. Here, welcome to Washington Square Park. But thanks for tuning in, Chris. Hopefully you can watch it on the big screen, have the comments, use the cell phone if you need to chime in. thank you for sticking with me through this rough patch. You and Diana and Nita and Sarah. Sarah's reached out. I've talked with Sarah a few times. The old gang's back together. And Magic Mike's teaching. I'm sure he's busy with classes in session. Austin, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Austin's part of the team too. Tara's part of the team. Lisa's part of the team. Yeah. Carhenge, yeah, you're right. Carhenge is in Nebraska. Yeah, it's the Stonehenge made with cars. Yeah, that's part of Americana, and of course it's based upon the real Stonehenge there in Plymouth, the southwest peninsula of England. There, the dogs are rolling around. Look at that. Carhenge. Yeah, somebody is there. I'm sure there's. Sorry, I hit the mute. I gotta be so careful when I zoom in and out. I hit the mute. Let's see if I can get that off of moderators, which I consider my team, but also there was the actual team. You don't have to be a moderator. And that was on TikTok. I don't know if YouTube has something equivalent to it or not. We'll look into it. Can anybody hear me okay? Yeah, the joins the live stream. Sorry, I hit the mute button. Streamlabs, it has on the bottom, it has a chat, it has a mute audio, it has a flip around the camera, all these dangerous buttons that I got to make sure I don't hit the mute and I don't flip around the camera. And I hit those sometimes, as people know, And usually I'll be talking and won't realize I'm on mute. So thanks for bearing with me on that. I probably lost half my audience when I was on mute. That's okay. Chris, you're a great moderator. You and Sarah, people, that's what people asked me. They said, "Have you talked to Sarah? Have you talked to Chris?" After I was banned, I said, "Yeah. Chris and I have been talking. Sarah and I have been talking because they remember you're one of the main moderators for my old account, and we'll get it back going, and we'll see if we need it on YouTube. I guess YouTube has a. I'll look into that. I'll start looking and see if YouTube has moderators, because look at the One Chicago Tower. Here comes a ambulance. What time we got here? 7:47. So yeah, I'll cross the street here. We'll head towards these sirens here. Here's the Whole Foods. That's your Thursday morning wake-up call. Look at the pigeons on top of the subway exit here. Pigeons are roosting. Yeah, here's where the red line comes out of the subway there. Yeah, Chris took care of the narration. Oh yeah, big shout out to Chicago's first responders, ambulance, first responders, nurses, doctors, firefighters. Think of what the police have to deal with. And here we'll go by Pippin's. There's this nice historic building across the way. We looked at the plaque of that. We're on Chicago and Wabash. We'll let's head down Wabash. We'll go past the Cathedral District. We're going by the behind the Holy Name Cathedral. Yeah, look at this nice mosaic above the door here. Yeah, first responders got a tough job. They've seen everything. Hey, good morning. Yeah, heading in. Rectory. There's Jake Melnick's. It's a nice wings and rib joint here underneath the parking garage. We're heading south on Wabash behind the Holy Name. Oh, yeah, you're mixing it up for pinball night. Thursday night's pinball night. Yeah, go to the Woodfield Mall. Intertarium. That's a nice name. Is that like a better Dave and Buster's? It's got pinball, pool tables, darts, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, the Woodfield Mall. Plenty of parking. Melvin, thanks for tuning in. Doing good. Thanks for tuning in to YouTube. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're having a good morning. It's nice and cool. It's low 60s. And we're walking down Wabash. We walked all the way from Halstead, Lincoln and Fullerton up that way, and went behind the Brown line there and came in. I went by the Walter Payton High School, but I lost connectivity there, so that's a dead zone. I'm learning the widescreen live streaming dead zones. Certain streets I have to be careful. There's the nice red building with the circular windows. There's St. James Cathedral. We went inside that, and I gotta be correct. Apparently only you see the bell tower is the only thing that really survived the Great Chicago Fire. The rest of it was severely damaged. There was an older church that dated back to like the 1830s or 40s, and that was destroyed by the Great Chicago Fire. And then they rebuilt this one later after the Great Chicago Fire. We went inside, and I got permission from, I think, the pastor to film. They were going to do a concert there, and you can find that posted. That was when I was live streaming on Instagram. But that's why they call this the Cathedral District. It's not only the Holy Name Cathedral, it's the St. James Cathedral. And they got these beautiful, the Dree House Museum right here. And the Murphy Monument. We'll go by the Cable House. We'll go up to Ohio. I'll probably cut east on Ohio. And we'll go underneath the lower Michigan Avenue. We'll walk by Billy Goats and all that stuff. We'll stay underneath this morning. Doreen, how's it going, Doreen? Let's see what you. Here's the Cable House. Yeah, what's a day with? You got to have some beautiful historic, vintage art, Chicago architecture. Look at this, the Cable House, right here on Erie and Wabash. Look at that detailing, the nice stonework. And I've shown this before. You can. I think you can tour this, but it's a private residence. You know, I think the Dree House owns this too. And then if you go, you know, look at that detailing. Look at that. And then if you go over, well, there's someone standing here, so they might not want me filming. I don't know. Or there's a car back in here. But if you look at this beautiful courtyard they got in the back here. They got a nice fountain. And they got, look at that, beautiful, yeah. Let me get over here. There we go, look at that. This is the coach house for the Cable House. It's historic, you can look it up. I don't know his first name, but the guy, Cable, that built this, he was a railroad baron. And then they sold it to the McCormicks, the heirs of the McCormick Reaper fortune. Bought it, this one, and the McCormicks used to live up and down Wabash here. So we'll head down to Ontario. We'll go by Uno's and Dewey's Chicago style pizza, and we'll go by the temporary location for the Chicago casino. Yeah, it's like a palace. Yeah, Cable House, C-A-B-L-E, you got it. Yeah, you got it, Chris. The Cable House. There's the Waken Bakery. There's Pizzeria Due. We'll go by the, should I cross here? Yeah, let's cross here. You run across here with traffic's letting out. Here, we'll get a better view of the Medina. Look at that in landscape mode there. With Medina Temple Auditorium there, where it's the temporary Bally's casinos going in there. Here's Pizzeria Due's, good Chicago style pizza, and yeah, they still haven't opened it. I've been reporting on them getting ready for the temporary casino site for a while here. That might be why my account was banned too. You never know. You never know. Best pizza spot, my favorite is Pequod's. That's my favorite Chicago style pizza. It's not everybody's favorite because they have the caramelized crust, and which some people consider that to burnt. But Pequod's is on Clybourne and Webster, so it's kind of north and west of where we were at earlier today. Yeah, it looks burnt. That's why I said it's my personal favorite. Just because I like it doesn't mean it's going to be everywhere. Gino's East is probably a good introduction to Chicago style pizzas, or Lou Malnati's. Lou Malnati's, his father, Rudy Malnati, used to work at Uno's. This is the original Uno's. You can't go wrong with Uno's either. Uno's is a good option, and Due's is owned by Uno's, so it's the second one. It's right here by the, let me make sure I'm zoomed out all the way. Hold on a second here. There, I'm zoomed out, good. Does anybody know, is there another Pequod's? I only know of the one in Lincoln Park. I don't know, I don't think it's a chain. Now, there might be other locations. I don't know. I've never been to any other Pequod's than the one on Clybourne. And it had a fire. One time I went to it and it had a fire and it was shut down. Burt Katz used to run it, but he passed away. he used to look like Gandalf. They called him. There was a mural on the upstairs bathroom. It was a caricature of Burt Katz, the guy that founded Pequod's, and he looked like Gandalf. How's it going? Here's Italy. This is Italy, right here. We'll do another TikTok on that sometime. But I got to get to work. Oh, fall's gonna be great. Yeah, we're making progress. We'll go by the little cake automat up here. We're making progress on getting back to 1,000 on TikTok. I'm over 600 now. If I get 750 by Labor Day weekend, we'll be 3/4 of the way there, and that'll be good to have as a backup. Still have. We'll be on multiple platforms here. There's the Shake Shack, the Big Bowl, this parking garage. There's the AMC movie theaters. We'll go behind the Marriott. And yeah, look, dummy me. I'm yammering away this whole time. I was expecting to film and I walked right by it. Let me go by the cake automat here, and we'll do a little blurb that I can cut out and put on YouTube, because I already got it on the other format. So, welcome to Chicago. Here we are on Ohio Street, just east of Wabash, and we got the bakery box here, the 24-hour ATM cake bakery. And you see how, just like a vending machine, they got these cakes ready to make. And you can go here and use the little screen here, use your credit card, hit the number, you know, the cake will come out here. And look, they called it. Let me get around here. Film the whole thing. Landscape mode. We can get the whole thing in here. If I get out in the street here, cake, bakery ATM. Yeah, I should try one. I'll come back and I'll get one. I'll give you a taste test. But it's too early. Well, I can eat cake any time of the day. You know, I can eat cake for breakfast. Isn't that what a donut is anyway? Especially if you go to Stan's Donuts, get the big giant frosted donut. Might as well eat cake for breakfast. But we're on Ohio, so we're at Ohio Rush. I'll go down one block and we'll go see. Here's the Nordstrom Mall, where the Nordstrom goes across Rush Street, and then we can go to Lower Michigan. We'll go right by Billy Goat's underneath, and then we'll cross the river. So this is the backside of the Marriott. This is the drop-off for the Marriott here, which fronts Michigan Avenue. They got an entrance on Michigan Avenue. This is the back entrance on Rush. And then we'll go around the shops at Northbridge here, which is the Nordstrom. Let them eat cake. Let them eat cake. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I walked right by that thing. Can you believe it? Here, we'll cross the street here. Look, there's the sugar factory. So there's another sugar store right there. I think that's different than the one that's on Michigan Avenue. Here's Eddie V's Prime Seafood. There's a restaurant right there. So we'll head underneath. We're going underneath Michigan Avenue. And you see how when you enter Nordstrom from Michigan Avenue, there's that atrium where you enter into that 4-story mall that curves around to the Nordstrom. And so there's a mural down here. And if you ever seen the Blues Brothers, they had car chase scenes down here. The Batman movies were filmed down here. Some of Transformers, the Untouchables, they walk. There's a scene where Sean Connery walks on the DuSable Michigan Avenue Bridge on the lower side. And you see how loud it gets down here, how loud it gets with the traffic. If you take those stairs, you go right up to Michigan Avenue. And they're doing some work over here. But this is looking south. We're underneath Michigan Avenue, and we'll walk right along the loading docks here. See, this goes to Navy Pier. If you go that way, you go to Navy Pier. Yeah, Blues Brothers on VCR. That's the right way to watch it. It's so noisy down here. It's so noisy. See the parking garages? The parking garages under here. So you can go right up the ramp, the loading dock here. These are the loading docks. See how you can use the underground for loading. There's the Intercontinental Hotel. Yeah. Hey, thank you. Yeah, this is the loading dock for the Intercontinental Hotel where Michael Jordan's restaurant, 505 Michigan. I've been walking down here for years. You know, I lost. I'll have to redo it. I did a whole series of videos where I talked about the walking man, Mr. Kramalis, who, you know, used to walk around the city. He had like a Yanni type mustache, and his name was Joseph Kramalis, and he was the walking man. And for years people would see him, even WGN would be like, oh, where's Waldo, where's the walking man? And he was sleeping underneath the Trump Tower one night, and some psychopath dumped a flammable liquid on him and lit him on fire, and he had to go to the hospital. He seemed to be recovering, but then he passed away later that year. And I used to see Joseph Kramalis walking around all the time, not down here, usually in the loop all the way up to the Gold Coast. He would be walking, he'd always be wearing like a suit blazer. He'd be combing his hair. He had this beautiful mane of hair, and it was so tragic what happened to him. And it shows you the dangers the people that sleep down here face, because you're exposed to whoever else is creeping around here in the middle of the night, you know. And it's horrible, like all the senseless acts of violence that happen throughout the world. There, the Billy Goat's Tavern's over there. It's behind that bus. So let me wait to this. Let me cross over here so I can show you Billy Goat's here. We'll get out in the median here. I almost walked by Billy Goat's without pointing out Billy Goat's. I'm losing my A game here. I'm off message here. So there's Billy Goat's. See how you can go down that stairwell right there from Michigan Avenue, and then you immediately see the sign right there. It says Billy Goat's Tavern and Grill, and there's Billy Goat's. And so let's go over there. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Lower Michigan Avenue. See, so if right across from the Tribune building, if you go down, and there's a sign up there, we can go up there so I can show you. Here's Billy Goat's Tavern and Grill, and of course the former owner infamously put the curse on the Cubs way back in the 1940s because they kicked this goat out of Wrigley Field, and he says they'll never win a World Series. Well, it lasted till 2016, and this thing is open. Look, born in 1934. You can go there for breakfast, you know, and they got a full bar. And there's several Billy Goat locations, but this is the original, and it's the most famous because you're underneath the lower levels of Michigan, north of the river here. And this continues on the south side, but here we'll head up these stairs so you'll see where we're at. So when you're on Michigan Avenue, if you want to go down and check out Billy Goat's, you can see which stairwell to take to get down here. And I used to have a TikTok on it, but TikTok deleted it. They deleted the Billy Goat TikTok, and no one was watching it anymore anyway. You know, they circles through, and then it just collects dust. But here, you see how we pop out. We're right across from the Tribune Tower. Yeah, no Pepsi, no fries, the chips, no Pepsi, no Coke, no Pepsi Coke, or no Coke or Pepsi. I forget which it is. Yeah, the Billy Goat, world famous Billy Goat. So right across from the Tribune on Michigan Avenue. See, we walked underneath the Intercontinental Hotel. We were underneath here. You can go down there. Hubbard Street, Lower Hubbard, and Lower Michigan. Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. The old Saturday Night Live skit with John Belushi. Wings over Mexico. the Benito Juarez Plaza of the Americas. Lou Malnati's. You can go to Lou Malnati's. There's a Lou Malnati's pizzeria right in the. Hey, good morning. How's it going? Bill Gleason. Oh yeah. See that's more of an original Chicago style accent. Yeah. I don't have a true Chicago because I didn't grow up in Chicago. I grew up in the countryside. And yeah, you got to go to Mike Rocco. Yeah, Mike Rocco was a writer for the Tribune, the Chicago Tribune, and he had his office right there. He worked for the city desk, and he would go. Billy Goats. He was on the softball teams. The Chicago style softball teams for the Billy Goat Tavern. They used to play, and yeah, he always used to hang out there. Look at the beautiful Chicago skyline here. So we're heading underneath the Wrigley Building, heading to work. 807. Bowers and Bernstein, yeah. Wow. Yeah, the WGN used to have, their radio station used to have the broadcaster's booth at the bottom of the Tribune. Yeah, it was right there. It was, let's see if I can zoom in here. Right there was a broadcaster's booth. Unfortunately, it's gone now because the whole building went condo, and they're going to make it retail space, but nobody's leased it out yet. But yeah, WGN Radio is no longer broadcasting from there. But you can go to Channel 7, ESPN Sports Radio is broadcasting. Look, someone left some glasses right there. And but yeah, I remember walking by there, and they would pipe out the live radio feed, and you could look in there and see them broadcasting live right there at the base of the Tribune. Yeah, here we'll cross the Michigan Avenue Bridge here, DuSable Michigan Avenue Bridge, across the Chicago River here. Yeah, WXRT. Yeah, see that's where you got to go for the true Chicago accents. I'm nothing but a wannabe. But I lived here for 25 years, so this city has rubbed off on me a little bit, as to be expected. Wow, that's good. Yeah, you got your own Brooklyn accent. That's good. Crime pays, but botany doesn't. That's awesome. Hey, that's good. Yeah. What? There's a guy on YouTube. See, he's on YouTube too. That's good to know. See, there's more people on YouTube. There's more to life than TikTok. It's good to know. Look at the Marina Towers. Trump Tower. Over to the Wrigley Building. We'll get this nice view. Look how the sun's hitting the half of the Wrigley Building. We got the water taxi, the DuSable Michigan Avenue Bridge, and we got the Wrigley Tribune Intercontinental Hotel, which used to be the Medina Athletic Club. And then we'll wait for the light here to cross. River's looking nice, the river walk. Yeah, I mean, I learned stuff by doing this, by walking around different neighborhoods. People tune in and they give me background information. My brain leaks. I try to remember as much as I can, but I love history. I love Chicago history. This city has so much history and architectural history. I'm not an architect, but I work with architects, so I'm interested. And engineering marvels, reversing of the Chicago River, Bascule bridges. We'll get to see all these bridges lift again when they bring the boats back in from the harbors. And beautiful buildings like this, the London Guarantee, which is now the London House Hotel. The streets below the streets. Pigeons, we got pigeons. Smash burger. Retail opportunities, we got it all. Oh, I'm in my mid 40s. I'm like around 47. But I'm young at heart. I still consider myself at the Generation X. I'm older than the millennials. You know, I I was part of the generation where our parents would kick us out of the house, and I would ride my bike for miles and wouldn't come home until dark, and they wouldn't even ask where I was at, you know, and it was like a different era, you know. But those kids last night, they were riding around their bikes, they were riding around the city of Chicago, you know, they were doing fine. You know, they can handle it. I see kids, some kids have to take the bus and transit, the CTA, the trains to get to school, you know. And growing up in the city, you learn how to navigate the city at a young age, you know. Grandman. I'm an old fart too. I'm not an ageist. We all connect on different levels, and yeah, there's people on TikTok that are in their 90s, 100s, and they're still interacting, you know, which is good. It gets people to walking around, and you're much younger than that, Tara. I know you're young at heart, and that's you know, that's all that matters. It's we're still interested in the world. We all got something we can contribute, and there's no reason to put ourselves out to pasture before their time, you know. I'm gonna try to be doing this as long as I can. I'll be doing it out in my hover chair. I'll be motoring around. I think it was yesterday I see that guy out in Lincoln Park a lot. He's a nature lover. He watches the birds and stuff, and he's got his hover chair, and he's always driving around the nature boardwalks there around the South Pond. I see him a lot. I've interacted with him before, and he's like a bird watcher, and he'll have his binoculars. He'll be zipping around on his little hover chair. Yeah, Zoe, you're 46. I think we talked about that earlier. Yeah, we were exchanging ages earlier in the week. That's good. Yeah, that's good. You're not doing bad at all. We talked about we're both not married. That's good. Positive, negatives, everything. I got nothing against marriage, but I got nothing against being single either. I'm like the Seinfeld generation where everybody was single. You know, I don't know if you know Seinfeld. I know you know Shameless, but I don't know if you know Seinfeld, the sitcom. Did you get that in Tasmania? Look at the Wrigley building here. Well, thanks again. Thanks for coming along, everybody. Thanks for finding me on YouTube. We'll continue to try to build back 1,000 followers on TikTok so other people can find us. And we'll still continue this widescreen on YouTube. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Have a great day from Chicago. Let me turn the chats back on. But, hey, have a great Thursday, everybody. We'll ease into the nice Labor Day weekend. We got a 3-day weekend here in America. So have a good one, everybody. And I'll talk to you either at lunchtime. I'll probably do a lunchtime.